Hello there everyone, this is Brother Birch. In this video I wanted to go through some common Git commands that you're going to be seeing this week, and it's going to pretty much encapsulate the majority of Git commands that you will ever use. Of course, there will always be extenuating circumstances where you'll need to use something else that you never really thought of, and there's a lot, but 99% of the time, all you'll ever need is right here, things that you're going to be working on this week. So Git Init, let's start off by talking about this one. This one's really big because anytime I want to use Git in a specific repository, I have to use Git Init. All right, and all that will basically do, if I open up just my file explorer here, you can see there isn't a Git file here. All right, and I have hidden items as being displayed. Okay, but if I click on one of these, you can see there's still nothing. And then if I click here, you can see now I see that this hidden Git folder. All right, and this means that this is a Git repository. And all that means is if I went into here and I said Git anything, I could say Git pull. Let's see what happens. Okay, I could say Git status. Okay, I could say Git remote. Okay, I could say Git remote -v. Okay, because I'm in this Git repository with this hidden Git file here, I am able to run all sorts of Git commands relevant to this remote that I have connected. If I ever wanted to change this or add remotes, I could, but that's what Git Init does, is it creates a Git repository on your computer to be able to connect to cloud repositories, like the ones that we have on GitHub, okay? Git status we just ran. It will show me where my code is in relation to the remote one that I'm working against. Git Add. So there's a couple of things that you can do with Git Add. Let's say I had a single file that I had to change. Then I could say git add test.txt. Well, let's say I had a whole directory of files. I could say week 3. Okay, and it would add every changed file inside of that directory. Or I could just put dot and it will add every single change that it has registered since my last commit, okay, or my last pull. Git commit m is just to put a message for that. These are really helpful, and you should put descriptive messages, because if you look in a visual interface or even a terminal interface of these Git repositories, you will see all these commits. For example, let me just pull up GitHub real quick. Whoops. And if I pull up one of these, you can see there were 357 commits. Okay, and you can see some of these descriptions are helpful and some of them aren't. But I can look at any one of these commits and I can open it up and I can see every single file that was changed. Wow, 212 files that were changed. That's crazy. Okay, and I could pull up every single one of these and see what was changed, the whole shebang. So that is what a commit does. It allows me to kind of track the version history using that. Okay, we have git add, git commit again if I have more changes. Git branch, going into branches is really important. We talked about this week, but anytime you work on a feature, you'll generally want to create a new branch for that feature, pull frequently from the master branch or the develop branch or whatever people are working off of, just so that when you go to commit your code, you don't have a bunch of merge conflicts. If you do a git pull every day, if it takes you a week to do a task or something like that, and you're pulling every day, then by the end of that week, your code still looks very similar to what is stored in that remote repository because you've been pulling all their updates. But you can still push yours. Okay. Git checkout. So if I want to check out a branch and start working on that branch, I can have multiple branches stored on my computer, as many as I want. And one nice thing that we have is right here in IntelliJ, I can see what branch I'm on. It says Git branch camera test, and I can click here. I can see all my branches. If I wanted to check out a different one, I could, and I could also run these in a command prompt or in a terminal. All right, this is just a nice little mini Git or VCS GUI provided by IntelliJ. You'll see that there's also something very similar in Android Studio. Okay, Android Studio looks very similar. Look, I see Git down here, Git master. It shows what branch I'm on. I can click down here. I can see the branches. It looks exactly the same. All right. If I go over to VS Code, okay. So right here, I have a bunch of different repositories, and I can see all these little yellow dots. That's my version control. kicking in there. It shows, hey, you modified this admin.js file, and then it shows where that modification took place. I can click over here. I have a Git lens installed on here, just an extension for VS Code, and I am able to see for a given, I have a bunch of repositories right here, but for like this one, for CS246, it shows that there were 2 files changed, and I can look at it and double click on it, and I can see exactly what was changed, as like down to like which character was changed. Okay, and I can see those, and I can be like, yeah, I want to take this, or I don't want to take that, or I want to make more changes. And so these are really nice Git tools. And the cool thing is right here, this is VS Code, but I still have, let's see here. Where is 246? 246 isn't showing up on here right now. It's probably because I haven't made any changes with it. But I could easily open up any one of these files inside of Sublime or Atom or Brackets or Eclipse or IntelliJ or Android Studio. It doesn't matter because it's all registering from the same place. You know, if I have a Git repository right here called CS246 programs, well, I could open up a folder and go to there, CS246, 246 programs, select a folder, save all. And you can see I can open up this just fine here. And if I like this GUI more, then I could just use this GUI. You see it says I'm 1 commit ahead. I could see what all my changes are and different things like that. Okay, so there are lots of different Git GUIs. Other common commands, we have Git Checkout we already talked about, Git Rebase, okay, Git Checkout Master, Git Merge, to be able to merge changes, Git Clone, that's a really common one anytime you're getting started with a project, Git Remote Add Origin, okay, so this is huge. I have a class that I teach that I have the students push to GitHub, a GitHub repository, and to Heroku, which is a hosting service for websites. And it just runs off of a Git repository. And so they have multiple remotes. They have 2 remotes to push to and 2 remotes to pull from. And anytime they push to GitHub, their code will show up there. And anytime they push to Heroku, they can pull up their website and see their changes being rendered in their website, which is pretty cool. Git pull is huge when working with the team. Hopefully these activities will help you see why. Merge conflicts, Git add, Git commit, pull, push. Okay, so I feel like all of these we've pretty much covered. Some of these ones are the ones that you might not use as often. Perhaps Git reset hard is one that I do sometimes. Sometimes I'll make a commit and then knowing that I'm about to mess something up and I just want to try something for a few minutes. I might take 15, 20 minutes messing up all my code, seeing if something will work. And if not, I can just say Git reset hard and I just go back to 20 minutes before. I'm like, yeah, that didn't work. Let's try something else. Okay. So out of these 4, that's probably what I use the most. But they all have their place. Okay. So these are just some common commands. Hopefully these activities from the week helped you guys. So like I said, most modern text editors will have a little bit of Git integration, which is really nice. I can come in here into VCS, I can hit commit, which will automatically add my staged files or add files to stage. I can check my branches, I can merge changes. So all these is just like the click of a button, a lot of these that we looked at. Okay. One that I really like to use, let me close Android Studio because we're not really working with that yet. I can right click on this and hit Git and compare with branch. Okay, and if I had multiple branches, I could compare it with a branch. I can see I'm on camera test right now. I'm gonna go ahead and compare it with master. And it shows me all my files that are different. I can click on a specific file and I can see what my version has and what the original file has and how they're different. Okay, so this is pretty cool too. So that's something I use a lot here in IntelliJ. I just right click on this and hit compare with branch just to see where I'm at. It's similar to showing Git status, but it's just really easy to navigate. Okay. The last thing I wanted to show you, all right, because these are really nice for a lot of different things, but if you just Google, I just Googled best Git GUIs like that. Okay, so the top 10 best GUI Git client for developers. Okay, Github Desktop. You can see this looks pretty good. Looks like it's showing our changes pretty well. fork, tower, source tree, smart git, sublime merge. So there's all these different things that kind of help you manage Git repositories. The majority of these I haven't used. I think I've used source tree before. I've used the sublime one. Yeah, so I haven't really used most of these. Usually I've been pretty content with the Git GUIs that I have in my text editors or IDEs, like the ones that I was just showing you. Usually they have everything I need. And anything else I need outside of those, I just Google it. I'm like, oh, I do git reset -- hard, and that'll, reset everything since my last commit. But anyways, if you want to look into more, a lot of people love these. I had a student ask me the other day about Github Desktop. They're like, why are we doing all this stuff in 246 for this? I'm like, well, it's really important to learn what everything is doing in the background. And then from here on out, you can use anything you want. So, but yeah, I hope that this video is helpful for you guys and kind of just doing a broad overview of the Git commands that we looked at this week and just a couple of tips on working with Git moving forward.